Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting started on the right side of the van. About time. So I drew out my concept. Here's the refrigerator. I had to make some space on this side for my power source for the refrigerator. And on this side, I'll add the bathroom for visual representation. And I'm going to add another cabinet, floor to ceiling cabinet here. And I'm going to do a laundry basket that will fold out so dirty laundry could go in there and actually utilize this space right here. Above it will be my closet space. So I'll have two doors, drawers, whatever. I'll figure that out. And I will be able to hang some clothes in here. And on this portion, the upper cabinet, this edge, I don't want it to be sharp. I actually want to be able to round it over like this. So I did some practice cuts on some walnut veneer plywood that I had for some scrap. I cut a whole bunch of little kerf cuts in this plywood. So now I can bend it at a 90-degree angle and it will actually give me a cool rounded corner. Now you may have noticed my brand new tool. It's the Makita plunge cut track saw. I talked about wanting to get one of these in my last video because of my little janky circular saw, track saw, where that just screwed into some plates that ran along a Craig jig track. I mean, it worked. It minimized the tear out, but there was some play in it and it was just a little cumbersome to work with. This thing fits in the track perfectly. There's no play side to side. It rides so smooth and it's battery operated. They did make a corded version. It was a little less expensive, but I went ahead and did this one just because it's just get it out of the box and just use it. I have not charged it. I charged it once getting it out of the box, and I have not charged it since then, and I've already made a few projects with it and it's already paid for itself. Now this thing was very expensive, but very worth it. And doing that bend with any other tool is pretty much impossible. So that was one of the main reasons I wanted to do, or wanted to get one of those track saws, was to do kerf joints, because I do a lot of work with plywood, and doing stuff like that would be pretty cool. And also ripping down the plywood just in more manageable sizes is very, very nice. Order of operations, I think, is just to make this in different sections. So I'm going to make my closet, laundry room, laundry hamper first, and then build out this middle section with the drawers, and then the last section on the other side of the refrigerator, and then just tie everything together with a nice countertop. Alright, I got my plywood set up. There's a few deep imperfections in this piece, but I got it set on a piece of foam, so when the blade cuts through it, it'll minimize any tear out on the back side. It'll also help it from falling down when I cut all the way through it, so it doesn't, sandwich on me. But now I'm to the point where I think it fits. I kind of wedge it into places because it's a little tight, but it works. There's no gaps on the ceiling. Now I have to figure out how to maintain this curve and to figure out places to screw it to in order to keep that bend. So I think what I figured out is, butting up to my bathroom, I cut a 1 3/4 inch piece that fits behind. Let's bring you over here. It fits behind my face frame, and I'll pocket hold that to that and finish up this plywood edge with some edge banding. And then I'm going to get fancy with some pocket holes on this piece. Alright, so I got a little bit of it done, as you can see. I will put a video right now to show you just what I did here. I put a whole bunch of glue in these kerf joints and then squeezed them together, and that way this curve stays rigid and it's a lot easier. And I braced it off here. It's not very pretty, but that glue is very strong. I braced it up at the bottom also. And I got my perfect 90-degree with the bend. And once I did that, I attached these cross members to the middle, the bottom, and the top. And a little bit different from my original design, I was going to have a laundry basket that pulls out and I could just put stuff in. I think what I'm going to do is make a removable door that's on there magnetically, and then just open these top cabinet doors and have the laundry right here. So all I got to do is open this and dump it in, and it stays closed. And then whenever I want to take out the laundry and do laundry, instead of going through this and pulling it out that way, I'll just remove my front door and pull it out and get on cleaning. Alright, so that worked. Looks pretty good. It's going to need to dry a little bit, knock down that sheen a little bit. I'm just using some satin clear coat. That's what I've sprayed on everything. This worked pretty good. It leaves a nice even coat. And once you spray it, sand it once, spray it again, and then knock it down with like some steel wool, leaves a nice satin sheen on the wood and leaves it nice and smooth. Looks good, nice and even. That's all I care about. Not using any real expensive coating. And it also leaves it pretty well protected. So next up, we're going to be doing the cabinet fronts. So what I've done to all my cabinet doors is I'm just making a slab. So I cut a sheet of walnut to the width and the height of my opening of the cabinet, and I add a 1/2 inch to all sides, so 1 inch to the width and 1 inch to the height, and I just cut a big rectangle, and then I finish the edges with edge banding. Very simple cabinet door, and with the walnut it looks real good. I put some 1/4 inch plywood on the back side and screwed it into all those little wood pieces that you saw that I attached to the walls of the van. Now I didn't have enough maple to cover up the back side, but I actually had this aromatic smelling cedar, which typically goes in closets because it deters moths and other insects. And with my doors being wide open all the time to let air ventilate through here, I occasionally get some bugs. So I thought it might be a good idea to put some cedar stripping. It's shiplap. So I'm just going to put them in there, tack them in with a little pin nailer. It's going to smell really good in here with all that cedar. I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to put any sealer on it because I think that'll defeat the purpose of the scent killing all these, not really killing, but deterring cockroaches, silverfish, moths, and mildew. Let me show you what I got going on in here. So I made a quick little dirty hanging system. Very simple. I just got 2 pieces of wood and put dowels in it. high enough or low enough so you can put your hanger on it, and high enough to where the shirts don't scrape the bottom of the closet. And I also spaced it so the hangers don't touch either side of the walls, but by doing that the rods are pretty close together, so I will have to probably hang, you know, swapping every hanger, so one on this side, one in the front on this side, and vice versa. But that won't be too bad. I could put shoes on the bottom, heavier jackets, whatever on the bottom, and of course laundry right there. And on this side I'll have a drawer for socks, underwear, all the necessities. Here's my bottom panel. I decided not to put a handle on it just because it's not a real door and I don't want to bump it when I'm walking in this pretty small space. So what I put on the back side of it, as you can see down at the bottom, I've got something to catch the bottom lip, and then I made these little locks so the door slides in there and I push against it. I already got my laundry hamper in there, and I just roll these up and it locks the front in place. So that's in there strong and sturdy, not coming out. My top doors are outside drying, and now they are inside, installed. And I got my lights wired up, so I actually have some light on the subject. All I need to do, last step, is install some handles. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Nice radius cornered, slab faced, walnut, closet, and laundry chute. All I've got left to do is put on these handles, and you saw me do that in my last video, or not my last video, whenever I did that handle right there. Whenever I did that, I just used a simple Craig jig like this one to match up those holes and clamp this to the door front, drill a 3/16 inch hole, and that's it. But I do not have the screws for these handles. I gotta go to get some. But I think I'm just going to end the video right there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for your patience in this long video series that we've got going. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.